Fear. In our body, it's like having a paranoid security guard who never sleeps, never takes a coffee break, and thinks everything is a potential threat. Picture this. Deep inside your brain, there's a tiny, almond-shaped structure called the amygdala, and it's basically the most dramatic employee in the entire nervous system. Imagine it with bulging eyes, jittery movements, constantly asking itself, "Did you hear that? Was that a bear? A car? A strongly worded email?" But let's get scientific for a hot minute. Fear isn't just your brain being dramatic. It's a 200-million-year-old survival mechanism that's kept our species from becoming dinosaur snacks, saber-toothed tiger appetizers, and TikTok fail statistics. When you experience fear, your amygdala hits the panic button faster than you can say, "Is that a spider?" It sends distress signals to your hypothalamus, which is basically the 911 dispatcher of your brain. You can imagine it frantically pressing buttons and shouting, "We need all units. Release the adrenaline. Cortisol on standby. Heart rate, go, go." Your sympathetic nervous system kicks into overdrive, triggering the famous fight, flight, or freeze response. Your heart pounds like it's auditioning for a heavy metal band. Your pupils dilate to see danger better. Blood rushes to your muscles, preparing you to either punch a threat or run like you stole something. But here's where it gets wild. Your prefrontal cortex, the thinking part of your brain, basically gets put on hold. It's like your amygdala unplugged the rational thought department. Your logical brain might try to suggest walking calmly around the problem, but your amygdala screams, "No time for logic. Scream first, think later." And that's just the beginning. Fear comes in many flavors: phobias, anxiety, panic, terror, and that special fear you get when you realize you left your phone at home. Over the next chapters, we're going to explore different types of fear, discover why your brain thinks a cucumber is a snake, and find out why some people jump out of airplanes while others won't even kill a spider. Let's rewind to where it all begins, the moment you entered this world. Congratulations, you're born. And immediately, you're terrified. Imagine a newborn with huge eyes, looking around confused and scared, thinking, "What is this place? It's bright. It's loud. Where's the cozy darkness?" Scientists have discovered that humans are born with only two innate fears: the fear of loud noises and the fear of falling. That's it. Everything else, we learn to be scared of that. This makes sense evolutionarily. Loud noises meant predators or danger. Falling meant, well, splat. So baby's first fear response is basically, "Don't drop me, and keep it quiet, please." But babies are also tiny scientists conducting fear experiments. Watch as baby Timmy meets a dog for the first time. The baby reaches out, curious. "Ooh, big fluffy thing. Must touch." The dog barks once, "Woof." And suddenly baby Timmy has an immediate meltdown. Monster. Teeth. Death. And just like that, baby Timmy learned fear through experience. This is called fear conditioning, and it's basically your brain going, "Remember this. Could be dangerous. Add it to the do not touch list." You can picture the brain filing away this experience in a mental cabinet labeled "scary stuff." But babies also learn fear socially. Ever notice how if a parent freaks out about something, the baby freaks out too? Picture a parent seeing a harmless garden snake and screaming, "HHH. Snake." The baby, who was playing happily 2 seconds ago, immediately starts crying. HHH. I don't know what that is, but HHH. This is called social referencing. Babies look to their caregivers for cues about what's safe and what's not. It's like having a tutorial guide for surviving life. The baby's brain processes, okay, so spiders equal bad reaction from mom, which means I should also be afraid. Got it. Adding to list. Interestingly, between 6 and 12 months, babies develop stranger anxiety, the fear of unfamiliar faces. This is why babies suddenly hate your weird Uncle Bob, even though they met him before. The baby looks at Uncle Bob's mustache and thinks, this facial hair situation is unacceptable. By age 2, children develop fear of the dark, monsters under the bed, and the vacuum cleaner, which, fair enough, that thing is unnecessarily loud. Picture the vacuum drawn as a roaring monster, and you'll understand the toddler perspective perfectly. The beautiful irony? We're born with almost no fears, but by childhood, we've collected fears like Pokemon cards. Gotta fear 'em all. From fearless newborn to terrified toddler in just 24 months. That's quite the transformation. Now let's talk about phobias. When normal, reasonable fear puts on a cape and becomes a super fear. Imagine regular fear transforming into an overdramatic superhero, complete with theatrical poses and excessive emotional responses. A phobia is an intense, irrational fear of something that poses little to no actual danger. It's your brain's security system going completely rogue. Your amygdala literally doesn't care if it's just a picture of a spider on a phone screen. It's screaming, DEFCON 1 people. There are 3 main types of phobias. First up, specific phobias, fear of particular objects or situations. Let's start with arachnophobia, the fear of spiders, affecting about 5% of the population who've decided that 8 legs is exactly 6 legs too many. Picture a tiny spider innocently waving, saying, I eat mosquitoes and help the ecosystem, while someone stands on furniture shouting, I don't care about your credentials. Then there's acrophobia, fear of heights. These folks look at a glass-bottom bridge and think, why would anyone design that? Picture someone on just the second floor saying, too high. I can see my death from here. Trypophobia is the fear of clusters of small holes. It's relatively new to science, but show someone with trypophobia a lotus seed pod, and they'll physically recoil, thinking, why do I hate this? Brain, explain. And the brain just responds, no explanation, just hate it. Run. Then we have social phobia, also known as social anxiety disorder. This is the fear that everyone is judging you, and they're all thinking about that embarrassing thing you said in 2007. Imagine someone at a party, surrounded by thought bubbles showing judgmental faces, while their inner voice screams, they're all watching you. Your laugh was too loud. You have something in your teeth. Abort. Abort. And finally, agoraphobia. Not just fear of open spaces, but fear of situations where escape might be difficult or embarrassing. It's like social phobia's more intense cousin, making people feel trapped in crowds, public transport, and open spaces all closing in at once. But here's the weird part. Most phobias don't come from traumatic experiences. Only about 50% of people with phobias can remember a specific incident that triggered it. Someone might say, I've never been bitten by a snake, never even seen a real snake, but absolutely not going near one. Some scientists think we're evolutionarily prepared to fear certain things. It's easier to develop a phobia of spiders, snakes, and heights than it is to develop a phobia of cars or electrical outlets, even though those are statistically more dangerous. Your ancestors who feared snakes survived. Your ancestors who didn't. Natural selection favors useful paranoia. The good news? Phobias are highly treatable through exposure therapy, which is basically facing your fears in controlled doses until your brain realizes, oh wait, I'm not actually dying. After looking at 50 pictures of spiders, even the most anxious amygdala eventually admits, fine. If fear is an alarm system, anxiety is that alarm system malfunctioning at 3 a.m. because of a moth. Picture an alarm frantically beeping at a tiny, harmless moth. That's anxiety in a nutshell. Anxiety is fear's persistent, overthinking cousin who shows up uninvited and won't leave. Imagine anxiety as a character sitting on someone's shoulder, constantly whispering worries. Hey, remember that presentation next week? What if you forget everything? What if your pants rip? What if everyone realizes you're a fraud? The person responds, the presentation is in 7 days. And anxiety replies, exactly. Only 7 days to worry. While fear is a response to immediate danger, anxiety is worry about potential future threats. It's your brain's way of time traveling to catastrophize about things that haven't happened yet, and probably never will. Picture a brain in a time machine, visiting various terrible futures, all of them disasters. Anxiety affects about 40 million adults in the US alone. That's a lot of people lying awake at night, creating elaborate disaster scenarios in their minds. Someone lies in bed thinking, what if I oversleep, which makes me lose my job, which makes me become homeless, which leads to being eaten by pigeons? Each worry spawns another in an endless chain. The physical symptoms of anxiety are basically identical to fear: racing heart, sweating, trembling, difficulty breathing. But here's the kicker: there's no actual threat. Your body is prepping for danger that exists only in your imagination. Your body releases all the stress hormones and asks, where's the tiger? And your brain admits, there's no tiger. Just a text message that said, we need to talk. Your body's response, that's worse. There are several types of anxiety disorders. Generalized anxiety disorder is like having a radio that only plays the worst-case scenario station 24/7. Imagine a radio dial permanently stuck on WRE 666.6 FM. All disasters, all the time. Panic disorder brings surprise attacks of intense fear that peak within minutes. It's like fear pressing all the buttons at once, screaming, everything is happening. Right now? For no reason. Obsessive-compulsive disorder combines unwanted thoughts with repetitive behaviors to manage the anxiety those thoughts create. Picture someone checking if the door is locked, then their mind demanding, check again. They respond, I just checked. But the thought insists, but did you really check? Check again, and again, maybe 10 more times. Post-traumatic stress disorder develops after traumatic events, causing flashbacks, nightmares, and severe anxiety. It's like being ambushed by traumatic memories when you least expect it. The tricky thing about anxiety is that it's often about uncertainty. Our brains hate not knowing what's going to happen. The brain thinks, I need to know everything. If I think about every possible bad outcome, I can prevent them. But reality responds, that's not how anything works. Here's something cool though. While anxiety feels terrible, It's actually your brain trying to protect you. It's just really bad at judging actual threat levels in the modern world. Treatment often involves teaching your brain that uncertainty is okay and that not every what if deserves a 5-hour brainstorming session at 2 a.m. Let's take a tour of the fear factory, your brain's manufacturing plant for terror. Hard hats on, people. Picture your brain designed like a factory with conveyor belts, machinery, steam, and workers running around frantically. First stop, the amygdala assembly line. This is where raw sensory information gets processed at lightning speed. Imagine the amygdala working at a conveyor belt, sorting incoming signals. Okay, what do we got? Loud noise, threat. Moving shadow, threat. Text message, threat. Butterfly, ah, cute. Wait, could be threat. The amygdala processes fear in about 12 milliseconds. That's faster than you can consciously think. It's why you jump before you realize it was just your cat. Picture someone jumping in fear, then immediately seeing it's just their cat looking confused. But the amygdala isn't perfect. It's like that friend who forwards every chain email, thinking, better safe than sorry, is the best motto for everything. Next, we have the hypothalamus hub, the communication center that broadcasts fear signals throughout your body. Imagine it as a radio DJ announcing, "Good morning, body. Today's forecast, panic. We're releasing adrenaline with a chance of cortisol." The hypothalamus activates your sympathetic nervous system, which is like switching your body from chill mode to everything is on fire mode. Picture a body dashboard switching from green relaxed state to flashing red alert. Your adrenal glands dump adrenaline into your bloodstream. Think of adrenaline as your body's emergency fuel. Imagine them like a NASCAR pit crew shouting, "Go, go, go. We got a code red." This causes your heart to pound, pumping blood to your muscles. Your liver releases glucose for quick energy. Your pupils dilate to see better. You even stop digesting food. Your stomach protests. Wait, I was enjoying that sandwich, but your body interrupts. And no time for sandwiches. We might die. Your bronchial tubes dilate, making you breathe faster. More oxygen equals more energy to fight or flee. Picture lungs expanding like balloons. Meanwhile, blood flow decreases to your skin. That's why people go pale with fear, and increases to your major muscles. Your body is literally preparing you to become a temporary superhero. Your muscles flex and announce, "We're ready. What's the threat?" And your brain sheepishly admits, public speaking? The muscles respond in disbelief. Are you kidding me right now? But here's where it gets interesting. The hippocampus checks in to provide context. Picture it as a librarian with files, saying calmly, "Actually, according to our records, this threat is just Karen from accounting. We see her every day." False alarm. But the amygdala shouts back, "Too late. Already sent the panic memo." Finally, the prefrontal cortex tries to be the voice of reason, suggesting calmly, "Let's think rationally about this." But everyone else interrupts. Thinking is for later. Panic now. This entire fear response happens in seconds, which is impressive when you need it, but really annoying when it happens during a work presentation or a first date. Pop quiz. What's the difference between a gazelle's fear and your fear of public speaking? Let's find out. Picture a split screen. On one side, a gazelle running from a lion. On the other, a human terrified at a podium. In the animal kingdom, fear is straightforward. See predator, run from predator, survive, have gazelle babies. Simple. Imagine a gazelle's flowchart on a whiteboard. See lion? Yes, arrow run. No, arrow eat grass. That's it. That's the entire decision-making process. Animals have what we call acute fear, intense but brief. Once the threat is gone, they literally shake it off and go back to normal. Picture a gazelle barely escaping a lion, then immediately munching grass peacefully, thinking, "Phew, that was close. Anyway, this grass is delicious." Humans, meanwhile, can be afraid of things that happened years ago, might happen next year, or exist only in our imagination. Picture someone surrounded by floating thought bubbles showing past embarrassments, future worries, and completely imaginary scenarios. The human brain literally says, "Remember that thing you said in 2009? Let's be afraid of that right now." Animals use fear for survival. We use fear for survival and to torture ourselves about text message response times. Imagine someone staring at their phone showing, "Read at 3:47 p.m." with no response, panicking. It's been 8 minutes. Do they hate me? Did I say something wrong? But humans and animals share some fears. Take mice, for example. Mice are naturally terrified of cats, even mice who've never seen a cat. Picture a laboratory mouse seeing a cat for the first time through glass, immediately panicking. "I don't know what that is, but every cell in my body says run." This is because evolution has hardwired certain fears into their DNA. It's called prepared fear, and it's nature's way of giving you a head start on staying alive. Imagine a DNA strand with fear of predators literally labeled on it. Humans have this too. We're naturally suspicious of snakes, spiders, darkness, and heights, even if we grew up in a city apartment with no exposure to any of them. Picture a city person seeing a garden snake and thinking, "I've never seen one in real life, but I know I hate it." But here's where humans get weird. We seek out fear for fun. Picture a montage of people on roller coasters, watching horror movies, at haunted houses, all screaming joyfully. No animal on Earth watches a scary movie for entertainment. Imagine a squirrel watching a horror film thinking, "Why would I voluntarily experience predator stress?" This is madness. We do this because when we're in a safe environment, fear releases dopamine and endorphins. It's like a natural high. Fear plus safety equals WHE. Roller coasters, haunted houses, horror films. We've turned our survival instinct into a theme park attraction. Animals also use fear to communicate danger to their group. Prairie dogs have different alarm calls for different predators. Picture a prairie dog making calls with subtitles showing "hawk above," "coyote approaching." That's just Steve, he's cool. Humans do this too, but we call it social media. Someone posts, "OMG you guys, a spider in my room." Everyone panic. The difference? Animals move on. We screenshot it, share it, and talk about it for weeks. So here we are, at the end of our journey through the terrifying, exhausting, absolutely necessary world of fear. Picture a person and their amygdala sitting together peacefully, watching a sunset. We've learned that fear isn't your enemy. It's your overprotective friend who doesn't know when to chill out. Imagine fear as that friend trying to wrap you in bubble wrap, saying, "I just want you to be safe," while you respond, "I appreciate it, but I need to leave the house sometimes." Fear kept your ancestors alive when saber-toothed tigers were a real threat. Now it keeps you alive in traffic, warns you about sketchy situations, and occasionally saves you from truly terrible haircut decisions. Picture someone about to get an awful haircut when fear intervenes. Step away from the scissors. But modern life has confused our ancient fear system. Your amygdala can't tell the difference between a real threat and a work email marked urgent. Picture a split screen showing a lion versus an email notification. Your amygdala reacts identically to both, screaming, "Danger is danger." The key is learning to work with your fear, not against it. It's like having a smoke alarm. You want it to work, but you also don't want it going off every time you make toast. Picture a smoke alarm screaming at slightly burnt toast, annoying but well-intentioned. Here's what we now know. Fear is universal, but personal. It's biological, but also learned. It's protective, but can be overactive. It's ancient, but constantly adapting to modern life. You can't, and shouldn't, eliminate fear entirely, but you can teach it to be more accurate. Picture a training montage of someone teaching their amygdala. This? Public speaking. Uncomfortable, but not deadly. The amygdala takes notes. This? Standing at the edge of a cliff with no railing. Actually dangerous. The amygdala nods. Got it. See, I can learn. Remember, courage isn't the absence of fear. It's feeling fear and doing it anyway. Picture various people doing scary things, giving speeches, asking someone out, standing up for themselves. Every person who's ever done something brave was scared. They just didn't let fear drive the car. Picture someone in the driver's seat with their amygdala in the passenger seat holding a map. The amygdala protests. I still think we should turn around. The person responds calmly. Your input has been noted. We're continuing forward. Your fear system evolved over millions of years to keep you alive. Respect it. Listen to it. But also remember, it was designed for a world with actual predators, not for a world with text messages and performance reviews. Picture confused cavemen looking at smartphones, completely baffled by modern anxieties. So the next time you feel that surge of panic, that racing heart, those sweaty palms, take a breath. Ask yourself, is this a lion, or is this my amygdala being dramatic again? Picture a simple decision tree. Am I in actual danger? If yes, listen to fear. If no, thank your amygdala and move on. Thank your fear system for trying to protect you. Then politely tell it you've got this. Your amygdala might sigh and say, "Fine, but I'm staying alert." And you respond, "I wouldn't have it any other way." Fear is part of being human. It connects us to our ancestors, keeps us safe, and occasionally makes life really inconvenient. But it's yours, and you can learn to manage it. Picture someone and their amygdala fist bumping in friendship. Unlikely partners, but partners nonetheless. You've survived 100% of your scariest days so far. Picture a scoreboard showing days survived. All of them. Your track record is pretty good. So here's to fear, the emotion we love to hate and hate to love. May your amygdala be accurate, your cortisol levels manageable, and your courage greater than your anxiety. Picture raising a toast to this complicated relationship. And remember, it's okay to be scared. It just means you're alive, you're aware, and you're human. Picture a diverse group of people, each with their own internal amygdala, all giving thumbs up together, united in the shared human experience of fear. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go check if I locked my front door for the 15th time. Just in case. The amygdala pops up one more time. It is important to check. And I respond, not now.